Does doing it differently always lead to doing it right? Israel couldn't seem to obey the Lord under the judges, which prompted their call for the return of the king discussed yesterday. Would changing their God-centered societal structure to fit the king-centered culture around them make it easier to obey the Lord? No. And since it was a change from God's pattern, it automatically made things worse. Today's Morning Minutes in the Bible on Throwback Thursday is from Plain Talk Magazine, November 1971. Except this article is a throwback to a section on the return of the king found in a 1923 series of Bible study workbooks called ELAM'S Notes. Satan's Way, 1923, by Robert F. Turner. From ELAM'S Notes, May 6, 1923, we quote portions of his comments on 1 Samuel 8, asking for a king. To turn away from God's church and church government now is to turn away from Him. To reject these is to reject Him. But what if elders of the church will not do the work? Let it be remembered that Samuel's wicked sons failed to do their work. Still, it was a rejection of God to reject His system of government, even when perverted by mean men. Why not turn the rascals out and select honest and righteous judges? The wickedness of Samuel's sons furnished a pretext for asking for a king, and a failure on the part of elders in the church now to do the work God requires furnishes a pretext to those not satisfied with the New Testament order of things for asking for a change of God's way. This is a trick of Satan. He took advantage of the corruption and wicked practices of Samuel's sons to suggest a change in God's government. He doubtless pointed out to the elders of Israel the centralization and solidity of other nations under kings and how they had succeeded, that the Israelites in their spasmodic and irregular way of opposing their enemies could not succeed, and that the Lord's plan would not work. He practices the same trick today. When elders fail in qualifications and duties and the church drags along, Satan steps in and suggests change. He never suggests that the church should have intelligent, active, scriptural elders doing a scriptural work. His special effort is to persuade the church that God's way will not work, that all the denominations practice the one-man pastor or one-man minister system, and the church must be like them and do as they do or fail. Hence, frequently a novice, 1 Timothy 3:6, a beardless youth, is installed as the pastor or the minister of the church, and the elders are practically laid on the shelf. When the church fails to endeavor to do the will of God in developing the young members, Satan, becoming at once very much interested in their spiritual welfare, never suggests that the church should be stirred up to the discharge of its duty, but proposes to organize an endeavor society which will do this particular work. When the church fails to associate as it should, Satan, becoming interested in Christian association, proposes the organization of an association which will do this work. When the church fails to do missionary work, old Satan, suddenly turning missionary and shedding great crocodile tears over the poor heathen who are dying without the gospel, never suggests that the church should be taught and trained as such to do this work, but proposes to furnish an organization which will do it. Failure of the past generation to profit by such lessons does not excuse us. Satan's work continues. What's the lesson for us today in the 21st century? God's way is the only right way. If it's not working, then we need to change our hearts, not our method. The return of the king doesn't make us better people. Only genuine repentance can do that. Thanks for watching Morning Minutes in the Bible on Throwback Thursday. Until tomorrow, this is James McClenny hoping you have a great day.